We all remember the unconventional genius portrayed in the Bollywood blockbuster Three Idiots Funsuk Wangru. And now we make you meet the man on whom that character was based. 51-year-old engineer and innovator Sonam Wangchuk is striving for the last 3 decades to improve the living conditions in Ladakh in the northern part of India. And he is one of the 2 Indians who has now won the Asian Nobel, the Magsaysay Award. Wangchuk has been awarded the honor for his contribution in the field of education, culture and nature. And he spoke to WION in an exclusive interview on his struggle for innovation and the challenges that he met along the way.
So sure, I was happy to hear about this award, but I truly don't think I deserve it alone. It was so many students, teachers, leaders who have been a part of this journey, and I dedicate it to all of them. It is also a recognition that people in the high mountains in the Himalayas, like Ladakh, have different challenges. They're a kind of minority, not just ethnic and linguistic, but environmental and technological. So our work that has been to gear education and development to the context as being recognized, I feel. Now, you have asked about innovation. The reason why I was pushed, I would say, towards innovation was necessity. Like they say, necessity is the mother of invention. It was not a luxury that I wanted to indulge in. It was just seeing things not working, seeing schools not working for children, technologies not working for people, made me, rather than withdraw or get depressed, act and find a way out. So that would be my motivation, wanting to solve the problems rather than, shy away from them. Whenever anything new is proposed, there's always disbelief and some lack of support in the early stages, but then it's a good test of your mettle. If you persevere, if you stand up, very soon people start to understand. If you don't, then you were never meant to. So it's a good test, I think. Yes, in the beginning, any idea is resisted, ridiculed, and so on. This award will boost our work to make development and particularly education become more meaningful for the high Himalayan mountains. Particularly right now, we are working to make higher education meaningful to the mountains. See, higher education should be about finding solutions to people's problems. Instead, we cage young people in their 20s in classrooms and lecture them to death. Therefore, we are here now venturing into an alternative university which will engage young people in actually going out in the field, finding solutions, whether it is in tourism, education, sustainable architecture, ecology, and so on. So this university will have much less of paper and lectures and much more of hands-on engagement. 2/3 in fact outdoors and 1/3 indoors is what we see. So such efforts are not initially understood, and we believe that this award will give us a sort of a kick start in that direction to take our purpose and the message to the world and have supporters from different parts of the world. As we have been getting, we hope more and more people will understand our work, and hopefully soon it will be replicated. Like we are adapting higher education to the mountains, others would maybe be adapting it to the deserts, to the oceans, to the jungles, and so on. So education needs to be engaged, relevant, contextual, and hands-on. In the country's education system, I feel there is a lot of changes needed. First of all, we seem to address other people's problems. We just copy what is done by New York or London. Their problems are different. They have solved their basic problems of water, of clothing, of sanitation hundreds of years ago. So they are now into, say, in an institute of technology, they'd be playing with drones and robots and apps. We cannot afford to. In India, half the population doesn't even have anything to do with an app or a drone or a robot. They have more the need of clean drinking water, the need of water for their farms, the need of health awareness to keep fit, the need of clean sanitation, toilets. And our young people need to address these issues more than imitate the West. And I really want to believe that our Apex Technology Institute or others should tailor-make their own courses to address to bringing the nation up from these basic problems, rather than just copy things that we don't even have as a major problem. To the youth of the nation, I would say, be original in your thoughts. Take your own original decisions as you see fit after studying things. Don't live your life for your neighbors, for your locality, for your friends, even for your parents. They would understand if you passionately like doing something and go for it. Because if you do what you like, chances are you will be the best in the world. If you just do something because your neighbors said, relatives said, or parents said, you will be a poor third or fourth, living a life of misery for the length of your life. Don't forget, it's you who will have to live that life. Your parents may want you to be an engineer, but if you are a painter inside, you might as well choose to live happily the rest of your life doing what you really love. And chances are, as I said, you'll be the best painter in the world. But a painter inside you, made to become an engineer, will be a very poor engineer, and perhaps will deprive a true engineer from becoming an engineer because you block their seats or space. So I would say, be original, be yourself, be your own hero.
And speaking of social media, you probably know that you are spending way too much time on Facebook or Instagram. But if you are curious to know how much of your day is being consumed by these social media platforms, a new tool can help you find out. A social media giant, Facebook and Instagram, they're all set to introduce a tool that limits how much time people spend on the platforms. The announcement follows concerns that excessive social media use can have a negative impact on mental health. Users will now be able to check how much of their time they've spent scrolling on the platforms and set a reminder for when they reach their allotted time, and also mute notifications for a period of time. Now, how does one find these tools? Just go to the settings page on the app and select either your time spent on Facebook or your activity on Instagram. At the top is a dashboard showing average time spent on the app that you are using. The tool also allows users to set a daily reminder that will send them an alert when you reach the time limit. Protests have erupted in Denmark as the burqa ban comes into effect. Hundreds of people rallied in the Danish capital of Copenhagen in protest against a new ban on wearing face veils in public. The protesters, many of whom wore the veil, accused Denmark's government of infringing on women's basic right to dress as they chose and discriminating against the minority Muslim community. Denmark's parliament enacted the ban in May, joining France and other European Union countries which have brought in a similar ban. The Danish government has said that it was upholding secular and democratic values through the ban, which would allow the police to instruct women to remove their veils or order them to leave public places.
I'm very happy for the turnout. I'm so glad that so many Danes are ready to stand with us in solidarity. And so today I'm very happy in spite of this discriminating law that's been legislated.
That you could actually make a law specifically targeted at some minorities are extremely scary. And if we don't do anything about it now, I don't know where we will end. Like, what will the next law be? If we don't say stop here, when will we say stop? And I think that's we have to stand together and say this is too much.
Opposition parties have condemned the ban, saying that it was creating fear in the minds of the people.
I mean, what we see with this law that is putting into place today, as I'm speaking here, is actually that we are pushing people out of our society. Instead of integrating and making our society able to absorb all kinds of people, we are pushing them out. We're creating fear through this legislation, which basically is an Islamophobic law that was voted through.
But the authorities have defended the ban, saying that it was taking a stand against quote-unquote political Islam.
Well, we want to take a stand against political Islam, and we want to do this by banning the headscarf, the scarf where you have covered all of your face, so you're not able to see the other person's face. We think that it's a core value in the Danish society and also in other Western society that you're able to see the person that you're talking to. And also we want to take a stand against the fundamentalist groups within the Danish society.
On to France, where the iconic Eiffel Tower in the capital city Paris has been shut for a day as employees at the landmark went on a strike over long queues. The Eiffel Tower staff went on the strike over a dispute related to quote-unquote monstrous long queues at the iconic monument, forcing it to shut during the peak tourist season. The strike took place after talks between the trade unions and the tower's management over a new access system which, according to workers, was responsible for long lines of visitors reached a deadlock. The Eiffel Tower has 2 queues for visitors, and each queue leads to different elevators. While one of the 2 is for visitors who have pre-booked their tickets, the other is for visitors who arrive without reservations. The tower's management recently revised its ticket policies, which made 50% of the tickets available for advance booking as opposed to the earlier 20%. According to the staff, the people in the line without pre-booked tickets were not allowed to use the lift meant for the people with a reserved time slot, even in non-peak hours. The staff said that the restriction made people wait in long lines and increased the workload on the workers, who had to handle frustrated visitors. According to reports, people without a reservation had to wait for over 3 hours to get Eiffel Tower tickets. It was an Italian job, but in a Swedish setting. Thieves stole jewels of Sweden's royal family and escaped on a speedboat. Thieves stole priceless royal crowns from a cathedral before making their dramatic escape on a motorboat, all this in broad daylight. The royal jewels were stolen from locked glass boxes when the cathedral was open to the public. The stolen crowns belonged to the 17th century King Carl XI and Queen Christina. They are made of gold and enamel and encrusted with beads, crystals and pearls. It is believed that the thieves fled via the vast system of lakes west of Stockholm. Police have mobilized a huge search operation with a helicopter and boats to try and find the thieves and recover the items.